A mouse in the house. A mouse in the house. Rich Chaps.
Wait! Fellow Toastmasters, friends and visitors, I believe we have a problem, but I will use my keen sense of investigation to confirm it. I believe that we have a mouse in the house. It definitely looks like we have mouse droppings here. But that's not the only test we need to do. Oh, I'm no expert here, but they definitely feel like mouse droppings. That's probably what mouse droppings smell like. But one last test, just to be sure. Yes, we have a problem. But don't panic. Problems are with all of us. Problems with your boss. Problems because you don't have a boss. Problems because you are the boss. Problems with your children. Problems because you don't have any children. Problems because your children just won't stop fighting. Drought, poverty, chronic pain, mental illness, war. Problems are with all of us. And when you experience problems, don't be terrified. Do not be discouraged, but face your problems. And most importantly, never, ever give up until you have solved your problems. But how, you ask? Allow me to reduce this to the ridiculous. The mouse first made his appearance in my house. The Schaus house had a mouse. He was spotted by my son James. And I did not want to admit that I had a problem. And that actually is the first step when you need to solve a problem. Admit that you have one. And I doubted James because James has a vivid imagination. But he also has eagle eyes. And I was not going to take this for granted. But I denied it. No one else had seen it, by the way. Oh, we don't have a mouse. But then my wife saw it. We had a problem. The next step, once you admit that you have a problem, is to examine the resources at your disposal. My wife called me at work and she said, "Honey, on your way home, I would like you to pick up eggs, milk, and about a dozen mouse traps." I stopped in the store, good selection of mouse traps to choose from. I chose the mouse hotel type. The mouse checks in, but he does not check out. It seemed good. I also began to consider some of the other resources at my disposal. I thought about my cat. Did I not feed the cat? Did I not buy fresh kitty litter for the cat? Had I not given my lazy boy to the cat? It was time for the cat to pay the rent. Once you have examined your resources, it's time to put a plan into action. Use those resources. I set the traps out strategically and had a conversation with the cat. I explained to the cat how I paid his vet bills. He licked his leg. I told the cat I had bought all of his kitty food since he was a little bitty kitten. He sniffed my hand. I gave the cat the most motivational, inspirational speech I've ever given to anyone. He yawned and left the room. I began to be a little discouraged. Day after day, week after week, those traps did nothing. The cat did not even seem to notice that we had a mouse. But then one night, I was sitting in my living room, reading a book, minding my own business, and I suddenly saw the cat moving across the living room like a lion on the savannah. Something was about to happen. He leapt to the top of the couch and surveyed the entire living room. Something was about to happen, and I held my breath. Then I saw the mouse myself. He jumped to the middle of the room. The cat leapt from the couch, caught the mouse. I was convinced my problem was solved. I was excited, overwhelmingly excited. But then I thought that dead mouse in the middle of the living room is going to cause me troubles later. I left the room to get a wastebasket, and when I came back, you would not believe what I saw. The cat had decided the mouse was a toy. He hit the mouse up and right and left, all over the place, and then he missed. The mouse looked at me. I looked at the mouse. The mouse looked at me. I looked at the mouse. And then I looked at the cat. Then the mouse took off. The cat had failed me. The traps had failed me. I began to be discouraged. I became frustrated. I was ready to buy a new house. But then I remembered the words of Sir Winston Churchill. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them in the hills. We will never surrender. Pulled out my BDUs from my military days. I got old school spring-loaded traps. I put peanut butter on them and I placed them out and stood guard, watching the house. And one moment I heard that sound that was so happy. Snap. My problem was solved. Now, if you will follow my steps and you examine your problems, whether they're small like a mouse or they're much larger, admit that you have a problem. Examine the resources at your disposal. Put a plan into action. And if you do it, your problem will get solved.